A very good afternoon. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Akanksha Swaroop. Let's now take you to Kanyakumari. Remember, Prime Minister's in fact completed 45 hours of his meditation today. This is the latest news that we are bringing to you from Kanyakumari as the day in fact takes to phase 7 of polling. Prime Minister has now finished his 3-day visit to Kanyakumari as his meditation has now come to an end. Those are the latest visuals that we are bringing to you of Kanyakumari. In fact, we are learning that the Prime Minister has also performed the Surya Arghya, which is in fact a ritual associated with the spiritual practice involving salutations to the sun. Let's quickly go across to Arun Danta, who's joining us live from Kanyakumari. Arun, what are you learning of Prime Minister's meditation now? Has it finally come to an end? How did day 3 go of Prime Minister's meditation?
Well, that's right. Prime Minister Modi, after concluding his 45 hours long meditation at Swami Vivekananda Rock Memorial, will be now heading back to Delhi. And it was a meditation retreat for him. And especially on that day when Varanasi is going to polls, and he's of course contesting from Varanasi, so he was away from that political hustle bustle, polling hustle bustle, and he was in this meditation retreat here in Kanyakumari. So Prime Minister of course started it on 30th of May after offering his prayers at the temple, which is in the vicinity of the Swami Vivekananda Rock Memorial. Then he started his a 3 days long meditation. In fact, we saw even today he was offering water to the sun, as it raises, and even yesterday he did the same thing. So I think it was a kind of a retreat for Prime Minister Modi, which he started 2 days back. And similarly, Vivekananda had also done a 3 days meditation from the same place where Prime Minister Modi has just concluded his 3 days meditation
Arun,
retreat.
it's interesting that you highlighted Prime Minister performing the sun salutation on both days of his meditation. Not to forget, we've also seen him around the mandapam, in fact, with the Japmala. Take us through the deep symbolism of his spiritual journey at Kanyakumari, because we all know that as we speak, Varanasi is also going to vote, and we, everybody, in fact, political analysts are talking about this being a foreseen victory, but it will be the victory margin that will also be the point of discussion, is what political analysts are predicting.
Well, that's right. And today is the last phase of 2024 Lok Sabha polls. What is going to happen? Who's going to form the government? Who will become the Prime Minister? We'll have to wait for the 4th of June. But of course, Prime Minister Modi is sending out multiple messages through this visit to Kanyakumari. Of course, when his constituency is going to polls, he was in a deep meditation here in Kanyakumari, far away from Banaras, Varanasi. And secondly, of course, the personal connect of which he's speaking about with Vivekananda, that how he was inspired with the Swami Vivekananda. And also, of course, these 3 days of Prime Minister's meditation have been without any solid food. He did not have anything during this period. We're given to understand only coconut water was the thing which he was having in this entire period of 45 hours long meditation. In fact, in those visuals that came in the morning, we saw Prime Minister Modi in fact performing yoga as well, and he was sitting outside the premises of Swami Vivekananda Rock Memorial. And then of course he went inside. He sat at the same place, at the same rock where Swami Vivekananda performed his meditation in 1892. So there have been, multiple facets of Prime Minister Modi's visit, and of course, political significance is also very important, because it's the southern part of the country, and therefore BJP holds southern part of India very importantly, and therefore there have been working with that direction, that they will be able to win the hearts of people.
It's very interesting that you also talk about the southern push, because remember, yesterday we've seen the Union Home Minister Amit Shah also visit Tirupati, and while his temple run continued all the way to Gujarat today, we've seen Prime Minister's own meditation take place in Kanyakumari. Having said that, how has Lok Sabha election of 2024 particularly stood out in terms of BJP's own focus on the southern states?
Well, see, as far as South India is concerned, BJP was eyeing on all these 5 states which falls under this region, because last time, if you remember, in 2019, BJP was not able to perform well except Karnataka and Telangana. So this time around, they are not only hoping to repeat what they did in 2019 in Karnataka and Telangana, but also to increase their tally in Telangana, and also the other states like Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, there Kerala, where they want to increase their tally. So they have high from these states, because in Tamil Nadu,
all right, Arun, I'm going to request you to continue staying with us. I'm so sorry to interrupt you there. In fact, I'm joined in by Mr. Narayan Tirupati of the Bharatiya Janata Party joining me on the phone line. Mr. Tirupati, indeed a monumental day, on a day when we see Varanasi go to polls. Prime Minister has now finished his meditation. How deeply symbolic is Prime Minister's meditation that he's in fact embarked on for 3 days?
See, in the last 10 years, he's worked very hard, and in the last 1.5 to 2 months, he has been touring the country. And he definitely needs not a break, but he needs some power to come back again govern this country for another 5 years. That is the energy he needed, so he has gone there. So we are happy that we have a Prime Minister who has been to a sacred place, and to tell the world that in the last 10 years what we have done, and taking a pledge that he will serve the country more. So we are happy. It is a good sign. It is a great sign. It is a strength. So all is well.
Since you talk about the mark of strength as far as Prime Minister's visit to the Vivekananda Memorial is concerned, I also want you to share with us your own insights in terms of how do you see Varanasi faring for the Prime Minister. Everybody is not talking about victory, but in fact the victory margin with which Prime Minister will in fact be faring from his constituency.
See, as a Prime Minister, he has served the country very well. As a parliamentarian, as the parliament member of Varanasi, he has definitely taken care of the people there. And we all know what has happened to Varanasi in the last 10 years. We have seen things happening, and the connect between the Varanasi and the entire other places in India has increased. Varanasi has developed economically, socially. Everything has happened in Varanasi. So I hope the people of Varanasi will elect the Prime Minister with a huge margin.
But Mr. Tirupati, how do you respond to the kind of attacks we've seen coming in from Congress, even the Trinamool Congress? We've also heard Sitaram Yechury now join in the chorus asking, does Prime Minister even know what was the last speech delivered by Swami Vivekananda in Chicago? So those are the kind of attacks we've seen coming in. They've also questioned why is there a need for camera to be trailing behind Prime Minister if this is such a personal visit for the Prime Minister?
Envying the Prime Minister is wrong. That is what I say. And the Prime Minister has not gone for a holiday or a picnic. We should understand this. So many, even our Chief Minister who went to Kodaikanal, when asked, I said, if he needs a break, he should take. So that magnanimity we had. But these people, you can't expect this magnanimity and generosity from these people. And there is no point in answering these people who talk very silly. When a Prime Minister in our culture, the Hindu culture, when a Prime Minister goes to a place, sits there where Vivekananda said that everything should be made possible to everyone. That is what the Prime Minister has done in the last 10 years, and he is going to do at least for the next 10 years. So I think we should ignore all these people, the opposition who are definitely envying the Prime Minister because they are not
You
able
know,
to
the
grab
model
the
code
power.
of conduct is also being quoted by the opposition, since we also see visuals of Prime Minister performing the sun salutation. We've seen him doing the mala jap as well. So they are questioning the need for sharing these deeply personal spiritual visuals with the media.
No, see, this is camera world. We have to understand this. Even me, myself, you, we are carrying a camera in our mobile. So, see, it is absurd that a prime minister who has been there for 10 years, a powerful prime minister, a powerful man in the entire world. So, it is obvious that everybody would like to have a glimpse of him when he in Dhyan. So, I don't think it is any these. Criticizations have got any significance at all. In fact, people, if you happen to see the followers who have been watching the televisions or the social media, it will be in millions and millions throughout the world.
Lastly,
So you
Mr.
should be
Tirupati, I
happy.
also want to ask you, what do you make of the overall association of Swami Vivekananda, the way the Bharatiya Janata Party is now associating with such a spiritual icon that Swami Vivekananda has been? We've also seen Prime Minister, in fact, meet all the monks of the Ramakrishna Mission. He in fact, made it a point to, in fact, also talk about his association and how deeply revered a figure is Swami Vivekananda for not just Prime Minister Modi, but for all of BJP in Bengal, considering we've also seen how the Chief Minister of Bengal has, in fact, been attacking verbally all those monks who belonged to the various missions, including that of of Ramakrishna Mission as well.
See, I can only say that Mamata Banerjee is full of arrogance, innocence, and ignorance. And that is what Mamata Banerjee is. Because the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, if people know him fully, they should understand and they should know that he immediately during his teen, he had gone to Ramakrishna Mutt and seeking the Mutt's blessings, and he wanted to stay there and serve the society. But then he was guided by his guru to go to RSS, to join RSS. And we should understand that his intentions right from his small age was to serve the society through this spiritual course. So there is no surprise or there is nothing new in the connection with the Ramakrishna Mutt, new in connection with the Mr. Vivekananda. So both are Narendra. So absolutely there is no issue at all. He likes it, he goes there simple.
All right, many thanks to you, Mr. Tirupati, for having that detailed discussion with us. On that note, let me quickly go back to Arun, who continues to stay with us. Arun, if you heard what Mr. Tirupati said, we've time and again seen how the BJP is in fact put up that, or rather bolstered its defense when it comes to the way Mamata Banerjee in fact attacked all those monks who were associated with the Ramakrishna Mission as well. A lot that was particularly acknowledged by the Prime Minister when he made that Bengal visit a few days ago. Having said that, this is also sort of cushioning BJP's own attack against the Trinamool Congress when it says that Mamata Banerjee has attacked these monks only for vote bank politics.
Well, see, West Bengal, Kanksha, is a very important state for BJP, and because they see opportunities, they see new catchment areas in West Bengal, because the results which they got in 2019, 18 seats in Lok Sabha, and of course more than 80 odd seats in the assembly of West Bengal. So therefore, if you see the way BJP has taken forward the entire issue of Sandesh Khali, somehow they realize that they can win more seats in West Bengal. And of course, Prime Minister Modi's visit to Kanyakumari, and as you rightly mentioned that a few days back to that visit, Mamata Banerjee raised questions on the monks of Ramakrishna Mission, the foundation there in West Bengal. And of course, Swami Vivekananda originally hailed from West Bengal, and also of course West Bengal is going to polls today. Few of the Lok Sabha seats are going to polls. So I think that was also part of the strategy of the Bharatiya Janata Party. But of course, West Bengal is a very important state, and therefore we are seeing that how aggressively BJP has been fighting elections there in West Bengal, and that is the reason why you saw Rekha Patra, one of the victims of Sandesh Khali, being given ticket by Bharatiya Janata Party to contest the Lok Sabha election. So there have been multiple points which Prime Minister Modi would want to take up through this Kanyakumari visit. It's not only about his personal connect with Swami Vivekananda,
Right.
which we've been speaking about, but also, of course, the political significance, political messaging that Prime Minister Modi wants to
It's
give
interesting
to
you
his
talk
followers.
about that political messaging, Arun, which is what exactly I want to ask you. Look at the sharp contrast to the visuals. On one hand, you have a prime minister in a very pensive state, perhaps even following Mon. On the other hand, you have the kind of attacks we've seen, scathing verbal attacks being launched not just by senior members of the Congress party, but the Trinamool Congress, even the left now has joined in on the chorus. The visuals speak for themselves.
Well, that's right, and I think that was something which needed at this moment for Prime Minister Modi, because aggressive campaign and of course back and forth between opposition and the BJP. So I think there can't be any best retreat than this meditation here in Kanyakumari for Prime Minister Modi, because this time around he broke all the records. Doing more than 200 rallies and roadshow across the country.
All right, Arun,
In
I'm going
fact,
to request you to continue staying with us, because I'm also joined in by Payal and Mr. Tom Vadakan of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Let me quickly take a response from Payal. Payal, what are you now learning of Prime Minister's entire itinerary now that he's done with this 45-hour tapasya?
Well, of course, it's going to be a non-stop task as far as the Prime Minister is concerned. Remember, in the midst of his entire tapasya also, when there was need for him to speak to the Home Minister about the flood situation in the Northeast, he made a call and got the brief from Mr. Amit Shah. That's exactly what Prime Minister Narendra Modi will do. Because, he's never left work, he's never taken a vacation, never taken a day off. And like everybody, every one of us who would like to get a reprieve or probably get some rejuvenation done, probably Adatma is one thing which brings him rejuvenation. He's going to be back with more vigor. He understands that the people, people have trusted him for two terms, and people are looking to give him another term right now. So obviously the work has already begun, because even before the elections were announced, the Prime Minister in fact had asked his Council of Ministers to prepare the first 100-day roadmap. That's the kind of continuity that the Prime Minister is speaking about. He's speaking about a decisive government in place, a government which wants to work for the cause of the people. And mind you, his campaign had begun from the beginning of the year itself, even before the elections were announced. Before the elections were announced, he at least made multiple visits to both Tamil Nadu and Kerala and several other states as well. So it's going to be continuation as far as Prime Minister is concerned. Unlike most of us who actually after a point in time need a break, the Prime Minister is getting a lot of break from the work that
That's a very interesting point that you're making, Payal. In fact, I'd like to take that as